You're listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, where a group of nobodies speak to an actual somebody. And now your hosts, John and Frank.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm John.
I'm Frank.
And you're listening to the Nothing Podcast
With Nobody Important.
And this week's guest is something that Frank knew absolutely nothing about.
Zero. If you want to see dead weight, it's me.
Well, this week's guest is a friend of ours. He runs reviewfix.com, as well as a number of other things that he does. He's an author, he's a game developer, he's a teacher, he's a voiceover actor.
Right. He's a video game expert.
Yeah, he really knows. Well, actually, he even says in the episode that he does not like being called an expert. Anybody who says they're an expert is a fool.
I think that's what experts say.
I think it's so true, because this guy really knows his stuff.
Oh, man.
We get into doing some crazy voices with him and talking about how getting into video games and how he got into developing and his books.
And we also talked about a very special person dear to our hearts, Xander Lupini.
Yeah, Xander Lupini comes into the studio. We're also joined this week by a new person. New person on our would-be staff. Doug Shine joins us. If you listen very closely, you'll hear him there.
You'll hear him breathe. If you listen closely, you'll hear his chair squeak.
No, Doug's been helping out with us a lot, and so when we knew we were having a video game guy, and we knew we had to bring in a fellow video game aficionado.
Sure, to make up for my deficiencies here.
Exactly.
It's okay. I think it's a great one. He played along with us, which is really all we can ask for, and I have to tell you, I learned a lot.
Very good, and hopefully you will too. So, let's get into it with this week's guest.
I'm Patrick Hickey Jr., and I'm an author and video game developer.
So, Frank doesn't know anything about video games at all, which is why we brought in Doug, who is here with us. And his first
Who only
time.
knows about video games.
It's the only thing I know.
Yeah, right. This is Doug's first time on the podcast also, but Doug has been a secret contributor in that he's been listening to them as I finish them and send them to him, and he tells me, it's good. And then I put it out.
He's a yes man.
Yes, if it gets past Doug.
I am not. I mean, kind of.
But yeah, so when we said you were coming in as a video game developer, like, Tom is into video games and so am I, and so is Danielle, and so is Doug. And Frank was like, I don't even know what I'm getting myself into. But I think that's kind of an important perspective to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell me why I should like video games. No, I'm kidding. I'm not totally green here. Like, I had original Nintendo, ton of games when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. And then I had Sega Genesis. And then I had Xbox One, which I don't really play.
That's a big
jump.
Yeah, it's quite a leap.
Yeah, there was some time between. I think I was sleeping.
It's like, oh yeah, when I was 11, I made out with a girl, and then I was 19, I was in porn.
Right,
It's
yeah.
like,
that's
basically
I didn't
exactly
say
what it
any
is.
of that.
It's a
Here.
jump.
You skipped a lot of the greatest stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I had a little. What is the little Sega thing? What is that?
Game Gear?
Not Game Gear. Game Gear.
Oh, God.
The battery
Game
whore.
Gear.
Yeah.
Game Gear existed.
With the TV tuner.
Yeah, I remember having to change the batteries in the Game Gear like crazy.
Yep.
Remember Sega Nomad?
Sega Nomad
No.
was awesome.
But see, like, this is you. From,
Oh, yeah.
And this is just basically.
I have like 3,000 games. I'm surprised I'm even like married.
Your social media shows off a lot of the things that you were a real collector of games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna check it out right now.
Yeah, check it out. What would you say is one of the most?
Are we live now?
Yeah, we've been live.
Oh, yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, we've been live. What would you say is one of your most like valuable, rare video games that you have?
So that's the thing. It's like I'm one of those people where I remember like when I bought games.
Okay.
So my wife will be like, you have all this shit. You don't even know like when you bought it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I bought this in the Blockbuster in Staten Island in 2004 and blah, blah, blah. And she'll go, what? I was like, yeah, I was going out with this girl. She was kind of hot. Blah, blah. My wife, shut up, you're an idiot. Blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
But the thing is, it's like all of these games tell stories,
Right.
you know? And the thing is, I'm the type of person where I read the instruction manual.
Okay.
And I look at who the developer is and stuff like that. I look at the stuff that they've done before. It's like music.
Right.
Who influenced who. So I have a game called The Guy Game on Xbox.
Tom, you know it?
It's awful. It's
Yes.
absolutely awful.
And they got sued.
And they got sued because it was like Girls Gone Wild, basically. You would get a question right, and then like a girl would flash you. On Xbox. This actually came out on Xbox.
No.
So good.
A real girl or like a
And
cartoon
yeah,
girl?
and the thing is, it's super. No, like a real girl.
Okay, good.
Yes, and they found out that one of the girls was 16.
No.
So they got sued, and the thing is, for my first book, I tried to get the producer Jeff Spandenberg to talk to me, and he's done a lot of good games. And he never answered me on LinkedIn. But like that's the thing. If you give me a game, I could just look through it and be like, okay, this person did this person did that. So like, sometimes games that the average person would be like, this game sucks, why would you want it? And I'm like, no, but you don't know how much it sucks.
It's funny.
And
that-
why it sucks.
That you
know?
would say that because Doug's girlfriend is 16.
Oh, wow.
That's weird.
Wait, is that not?
Wow.
Is that not supposed to be the way it is?
If you look around here, you'll see I have a lot of movies.
Yeah, you got a cool...
Yeah.
You know what this is proof, though? This is proof that you have a cool wife, fiance.
Oh, yeah.
These are all mine.
Those are all
You're
hers.
awesome.
We have all these superhero movie posters behind us. Those are all hers.
Because I remember when I first moved in with my wife, our first apartment was in Diker, and as soon as you walked in, there was this whole wall that was like wooden bookcases. It was beautiful. And I'm like, all my DVDs, video games, books are going here. I put them there. My best friend was like, bro, this is hot. This looks really good. I came home from work. I was an editor at NBC at the time. So like I came home at like 2 o'clock in the morning. My wife went to IKEA and like bought shelving and put all the stuff in the shelvings, and she put like other stuff in those bookcases because she was like, listen, you live with me, and as soon as you walk in, this looks like a man's house, and like it's our house, blah blah blah. So the fact that this is there, like, you're awesome.
Yeah,
you
we
have
find it.
she has the Nintendo seal of quality.
Yes.
Like, you know. So
We find a balance because all the movies behind you are mine, but the posters are hers. Half the pops are mine, half the pops are hers.
Nice.
And when we're done, I'll have to take you. We have not taken you to where all of our guests have been so far before we start the show, is our collection room
excellent.
in the back where we have
Cool.
it's a whole room full of collectibles. And I'm happy to say that only half of them are mine.
Very nice.
The other half are hers. So, yeah. But I look around at these movies, it's the same thing. I have
Yeah.
over 1,500 movies here.
Yeah,
and
you've
I
got a nice collection.
each one, I know where I got it, when I got it,
Yep.
why I got it. Tom's a big collector, too. It's so weird how when you look at something like that, and you're like, how do you've never even seen all this crap. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Each one tells a story, which is so interesting.
And the thing is, too, like, I've been a journalist for about 15 years. I've run my own site for about 10. So, like, most of the time, I don't even have to pay for my games anymore.
Right.
So I get games sent to me all the time. So I like to look through the thing and be like, ooh. Like, I have a, it's on my Instagram somewhere, but I post like 12, 15 posts a day. So it's like impossible to find. I have a review copy of Demon Souls
Okay.
from Atlas, and it's a white disc. It's just a white disc that has a sticker on it that says Demon Souls, and it's just like, I show it to people and they're like, this isn't real, it doesn't work. And it's mislabeled and it says PlayStation 2 on it when it's actually PlayStation 3. But what they would do is Atlas would send you these copies of the game because you wouldn't be able to sell them. You know?
Yeah.
So like 2K, I'm sorry guys, they'll send you like a physical like WWE 2K19, and a lot of critics, they'll review the game and then they'll go sell it.
Wow.
It's unethical. I've never sold a copy of any game that I've ever gotten.
Right.
Well, they're all in
But-
your house.
Yeah, they're all in my house.
They're in the fridge,
So-
microwave.
Yeah.
They just got
Wherever you can put them.
And
And
the
like,
oven is full of old 2K games.
I was trashing my wife before, but like she puts up with all of it, so she's pretty awesome too.
Right,
so,
right. Sure.
You know.
But now you run your own site, and the site is reviewfix.com. Now, where did you start that? What made you want to start your own
That's a great
publication?
story.
Well, thank you. I thought there might be something behind it.
So I was going out with somebody, and it was getting to that point. I look at you, you look at me, and it's just like there's no sparks left. It's just like, what are we doing here?
I thought you wanted to review her.
And no,
Casserole, 10.
No.
Looks, 4.
no, you know, but like we just drifted apart because I'm like this like ambitious workaholic that like never stops, you know. And she was very comfortable where she was, and I was just like, nah, I need more,
Sure.
you know. And she didn't want to, you know, climb with me, so she had to go.
Right.
I hate to say it like that, but then I was like, we broke up, and all of a sudden I'm covering minor league baseball at night, and I'm working during the day. But then like I need to do something else too.
Right.
So I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna start a site. So I took all the articles that I wrote for Brooklyn College's newspaper when I was editor-in-chief of Brooklyn College's newspaper, all the entertainment ones, and I threw them up on this site. And then I called like 5 or 6 of my friends, and we met at a Starbucks. And I'm like, I started a site. I'm gonna email every single place that I know, and I'm gonna get them to send us free shit, and we're gonna review it, and we're gonna do this. I'm gonna teach you guys how to write journalistically, and we're gonna do this. And I would say out of like the 5 or 6 people, like 3 are still with me, and all 3 have written books since. And like we've just like climbed together. And the site gets about like in between like 3,000 to 5,000 page views a day. But like we have advertising opportunities, like we make money off of the site. And then again, like you guys, I saw you guys were doing something really cool. So I was like, you know what, let me see if I could help them. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I get pitches every day, musicians, video game developers, all types of people. Can you promote my album? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, I'm not going to promote your album, but I'll interview you. Talk to me. Or you know what? I'll assign like your single to like a writer, and they'll write something. You know,
That's
like
great.
that's so it's.
So what's your staff? It's 4 of you?
Well, we've published over 300 people over the last like 9 years. So, but like right now, steady staff, we probably have like 4 or 5. And then, but I have like anywhere from right now from like 20 to 25 contributors. People that give like an article every 2 weeks, or like I get your post once a week. I get like 2 posts from another guy. So it's like, that's how every day we have anywhere from 5 to 7 new posts. Most of them are written by me, but the other ones are from everybody else.
I asked you a while back just because I wanted to. Never written before. I'd never been published before, and I've always thought about it.
And you're good. If De Niro was here, he'd be like, yo.
No.
You're good, yo. You're good.
No, I it's something I always wanted to do, and I always think things and review things in my head or whatever. And so I wanted to reach out, and it was very kind of you to let me do that. And now I've done.
I mean, I'm not paying you. Of course, I'll let you write.
Right? Yeah, right. I've done like 2 articles so far.
No, but you were great.
I loved it. I really loved it, and I've been getting a lot of feedback, and a lot of people who I know didn't even watch the film that I reviewed or played the game.
Yeah.
Still read it.
Yeah.
Read it, enjoyed it, and you got those clicks from it.
Yeah.
And like, so it's amazing how there's this whole world of give and take on that that's used to be, I guess, just physical publish, and now the
like
internet
if you want to
is
lose money, like you start a magazine or like a wrestling promotion or something.
Right,
like that.
right,
Like
right.
That you just hemorrhage
You
money.
don't have to do it. There's a lot of grassroots stuff that you can do yourself from your computer. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, my site costs like $60 a month to run.
That's crazy.
And then like in ads, I probably make like, like 500 to like 1,000 depending on a month. So
That's
it's side
awesome.
money,
Right? Yeah.
but then
Awesome.
the thing is you get all the free stuff too, like to review, so
Right.
it's great. I remember when like Skylanders was a thing.
Yeah. Sure.
I get like the new Skylanders figures, like Disney Infinity. I have like every single Disney Infinity figure. I never paid for
so
it.
much money on them.
Yeah, and it was great. Because I would write like little 300-word blurbs about the figure, and like, oh, Jasmine does this awesome spin attack, blah blah blah. Send it to 2K, they retweet, we get traffic, I get the free content. It's like give and take. It's like the Beatles, Abbey Road.
Right. Right.
The love you make is equal to the love you take.
That's
That's what I was thinking.
That's what it's like.
That's funny. But so now you've parlayed that into being an author.
Yeah.
Now you've written. We said before, but in case
So
I'm
I'm finishing book 3. Only one's been published so far.
Okay.
The other one's going to be published in the fall, and it's like it was kind of like a similar thing to starting the site. So I started the site because I was like at a crossroads in my life. I wanted like a serious relationship. I wanted like that ride or die person, and that wasn't happening. So then I started the site, and then I went on my quest for that ride or die, and then I would say October like 2016, my wife tells me that she's pregnant. And then my wife never stopped working. My wife, the day her water broke, she was going to go to work. Like, my wife's like Mick Foley. She's hardcore.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
like, she's nuts. Like, she's super strong, And, but what would happen is she would come home from work and she would be exhausted. So I was just teaching at the time and writing and stuff. But, like, my teaching schedule would be like 7 o'clock in the morning to like 1 in the afternoon. So I would come home. I would take a nap for like 2 hours. I would write. I'd take my dog for a walk. I'd clean up the house. I'd start dinner. My wife would come home and I would be like a puppy.
Right.
Like, what are we going to do? We're going to go out? We're going to have fun? What do you want to do? And then when she was pregnant, she'd be like, I'm exhausted. I need to relax. So we'd eat. I'd give her like a foot massage or something like that. And by 8 o'clock, 8:30, she'd be in bed.
What a guy.
So then I'm sitting on the couch and I'm looking at the cat and the dog. And I'm like, what the fuck are we supposed to do for like another 4 or 5 hours? And then growing up in like an Irish-German like family, they start families early, So like my dad was great growing up, but at the same time it was kind of like, oh, I could have did this, I could have did that, but I got married, I had a kid, blah blah blah. So with my wife being pregnant, I said to myself, I've done some really cool shit with my life, but I haven't written a book yet. So I'm like, I need to do that.
Yeah.
So I went to my wife and I'm like, I want to write a book. She's like, stop talking about it, just do it. So then I went in my man cave and I'm just sitting around and I'm like, I wonder what the story of this game is. I wonder what the story of that game is. And I just picked out like 6 games. It was like Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh my God, Panic on Funkatron?
No, that's the second one.
See, I
Panic
knew
on
something.
Funkatron.
That's the only
Yeah.
thing I'm going to say in this podcast today,
Yeah.
where I knew
Yeah.
something.
King's Bounty, Mutant League Football. Like I picked out like 5 or 6 games. Yar's Revenge, E.T. And I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can interview the developers of these games. And if half of them get back to me, then I think I'll have enough to like send a pitch out to a publisher. So within like 2 weeks, all 6 got back to me.
That's crazy.
So then, like, within a week, I banged out all 6 chapters because I was mega hype.
Right. Sure.
I was like Mojo Rawley.
Yeah.
I was
You
hype.
stay hype.
Yeah. So then...
These are all wrestling references
yeah.
that we're going to go over.
Yeah,
Everybody's head,
sorry.
but not me. You can throw them out there. I'm going to get them.
My daughter and I, we do Bullet Club for life. Like
Yeah,
every night we're like that. Thanksgiving, what happens after Thanksgiving? After you eat, you're exhausted.
Sure.
The tryptophan and stuff like
Sure,
that.
sure.
Yeah.
So same thing. My wife and I have Thanksgiving dinner, and she's out. She's out for the count, So then I'm like, I got these 6 chapters. Let me start pitching publishers. So then 3 days later, one of the publishers I pitched got back to me. So within less than a month of coming up with this idea,
What?
I had it. So then the thing is, then I went to work to Kingsborough, and I told them, and they all like, oh, well, it doesn't mean that they're going to publish the book.
Right.
Fucking haters.
It's like
haters.
everybody's rooting against you. It's
Yep,
like
everyone's
crazy.
rooting against me. So then I was going into work. I was at my first class at Kingsborough was like 8 o'clock, and I would show up to work at 5:30 in the morning, and I would write for 2 hours, two and a half hours, and then I would go home, and then I would write some more, and I got the book done in like 6 months. So 36 chapters, 100,000 words, and I banged it out. It's done super well.
Yeah, from what I can tell, it's
done really good.
moves.
I got a 5-star review on Amazon. Like, I have 22 5-star reviews. Like, over a year, no one's like giving it a 4 or a 3 or whatever. That's good. That says something,
Right.
And then right after I finished the book, a bunch of people that I pitched got back to me, and they're like, "Oh, we'll talk to you." I'm like, "The book's done already."
Right.
And then I'm like, this is the thing too. After you write a book, and you tell everyone like what you know, you're not special anymore.
Right.
It's
Right.
like all the cool stories that I was the only person that I knew. Now somebody else knows them. So now I'm like, now I got to write another book.
Right.
So then I had 43 games. So the first book had 36 games. The second book was going to have 43, and it was going to be like the sequel, like 2. And my publisher's like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? And they're like, you're so stupid. They're like, you got like 5 different genres here. You could do an adventure game book. You could do a sports game book. You could do a shooter book. And I'm like,
right.
yeah, you guys are right.
Yeah.
That's why they do that job.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
why they have that job, and that's why I
Yeah.
do this.
So there aren't other books like this?
So this is the thing. The majority of like video game books out there, they serve like 2 purposes. One is like they're opinion based, like, oh, the 100 greatest games, blah, 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 and they list all 100. And those are great. Okay? Brett Weiss wrote one that's like awesome. It's like the 100 greatest games, 1977 to 1987. It's a freaking amazing book. He wrote the foreword for my book.
Okay.
I reached out to him, and I've interviewed him before. So you have books like that, where it's like you have people that are educated, writing, about, but then you have these other books that are just like YouTubers doing the same exact thing.
Right.
So there's no like real books that are like, so if you read a chapter of my book, it's me setting the scene, the first 2 or 3 chapters, and then it's kind of like a film script. Like 2 or 3 sentences, and then the person goes into a story. Then when they finish that story, then maybe like a paragraph buffer to get you to the next story, and blah, blah, blah. So it's like I allow the developer to tell the story.
Right, sure,
so I
of
don't
course.
say if the game is good. I don't say if the game is bad. I just let them tell their story.
Right.
Cool.
So it's completely different from a lot of the stuff that's out there.
And it gives them
So-
an outlet too.
And that's why they love it.
Right. A lot
you
of
know?
these people don't have a place to share these stories, and that's
Yeah.
It's amazing though we were saying before you got here that when you look at video games, it's such an interesting medium because everybody knows what a filmmaker is, and
Sure.
even if you can't do it or you're not good at it, you know what goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Or even a musician or X, Y, and Z. Video games, first of all, has all of those things. It's almost like, in a weird way, I say when people ask me why I like wrestling, and I say, look at wrestling. It's circus, it's acting,
Sure.
it's dance, it's
Yep.
athletics, all put together.
Yep.
I'm like, you love sports, you love football, yeah, I guess. Where's the showmanship? It's a sport. This is all of those
Yeah.
things, and video games is the same thing for kind of entertainment medium. But it's amazing you don't think about what a game developer is or does. So what in your definition, what exactly does a game developer do?
So the thing is, the idea of game developer has changed throughout time. So like the beginning systems, like 1972, like the Magnavox Odyssey, and then after that, 1977, the Atari 2600 and stuff, you would have 1 to the most 3 people working on a game, and they would be responsible for everything. As time goes on, the job game designer, now it's 1,000 different things.
Right.
So now you have a programmer, an engineer, level designer, all different. It's what one person used to do. Now it takes 20 people to do.
Right.
So it's so different now. I mean, you have people like, I'll give you guys a perfect example. For the first book, I interviewed Jamie Fristrom. So he created the web slinging mechanic in Spider-Man 2
Wow.
for the PlayStation 2.
Which is the best.
It's the first open world Spider-Man. It's awesome.
It's so good.
So I spoke to him, and he gave me like some great info on the game and stuff. So now, book 2, I'm working on it, and I'm interviewing the developer of Boom Blocks on the Wii.
Okay, yeah.
So then I find out that he was like the actual designer of that game. So it's like now you have all of these guys contributing significant amounts to a game. So like you look at a game like Yar's Revenge, Howard Scott Warshaw. He did everything.
Whole thing top to bottom.
Yep. Now it's completely different. So now, I mean, now you look at a company like Rockstar, you have 300 people working on a game.
Right.
You know, so it's completely different. So a guy could play a game and be like, "Oh, see that level, see that bookcase in that world? I designed that."
Right.
It's that small. But when you're
Yeah.
saying the guy designed the web slinging
Mechanic,
thing,
yeah.
the mechanic meaning the software
The code.
to do that.
Yeah. So before that, not to get too geeky, but before that, every other Spider-Man, pretty much every other Spider-Man, the web just like you could shoot the web up into the air and he could swing. So in Spider-Man 2, the web had to connect to something.
You need a
Right.
building. If there's no building, you're gonna fall right into the water.
And every other Spider-Man since then has copied that.
Yeah.
So Jamie Frischstrom. And then he designed a game a couple of years after called Energy Hook, and he just took the same mechanic and then changed the story around. And that was a pretty good game, but no one played it because
Right,
it didn't
'cause it
have
didn't have
the
the name on
Activision
it.
label or Spider-Man. So.
That Spider-Man 2 is to me one of the best games, and I always thought
Yeah.
that. And what's so funny is that when they released Spider-Man for the PS4, the most recent one,
Mhm.
or I say PS4 because that's what I have. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's amazing. I was so taken aback by how many people were comparing it to Spider-Man 2,
Mhm.
and I thought I was just like I played that game like any other
Yeah.
crappy game that I liked, but
Yeah.
like no. And then I saw a video. I don't know if it was him. I saw a video of one of the major developers of Spider-Man 2 playing the new one and rating the web system in that.
It was probably Jamie.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's kind of crazy how it's like these games stick with you from when, you know, everybody talks about it's like Super Mario or whatever.
It's the highest grossing form of pop culture in the world. So the
Video
thing
games.
is, yeah, video games. So it's like, you know, I work in education, and all of my coworkers, like, I'm the youngest full-timer in my department, you know? So it's like they look at me and they're like, "Oh, yeah, you're 36, you're nobody, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "You're writing about video games." And I'm like, "Yeah, but like 40 years ago, you wanted to write a book about film." And people were like, "Oh, why would you write about film? Why don't you write about theater, something more established, blah, 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 blah." So I'm totally playing the long game. Like, I know in like 20, 30 years, people are going to go, "This book is important." I know
Yeah.
it's important now, but I know 30 years from now, when there's PlayStation 7 out or something like
Right.
that, or if a new company comes along, people will be like, "These stories are important."
They're going to be studying your book.
Yep.
in
So
school.
right now, like, my book is in over 70 colleges, including like Princeton, UCLA, UC Berkeley, you know, tons of, you know,
as well it should be.
yeah.
Like I said, these
Stanford,
stories need to be.
And
told.
I didn't pay like Lori Loughlin did
Right.
for her kid to get in there, like my book, or Ice-T or Ice Cube,
Right.
you know.
Both of
You
them.
leave Aunt Becky alone.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So now I'm going to direct this question to Doug
Whoa.
because I am not. I'm a video game player,
Hmm.
but I'm a very specific video game player, and Doug knows this because I will not play online pretty much anything.
Hmm.
I almost exclusively play games online.
Right. Oh yeah. Like he'll never play a single player.
You guys
like,
can't see his eyes right now, but
Yeah.
but they changed
They
when
did.
when he said
He gets
exclusively.
intense. No, but we will play Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead, unfortunately, online,
Absolutely hate it.
and that's it.
Hmm.
But he'll play like these Bethesda games or like what's the other one? A Blizzard? No, you don't play the Blizzard games, do you?
I used to play a lot of StarCraft and Warcraft, but not anymore.
But like I don't understand it. I don't get the playing online. I can't get behind it.
Patrick's looking at Doug like Doug is his little son. He doodled something. He's like, "Nice job,
Are you
son."
not a big Blizzard fan? Is that
No,
what
I
it
love
is?
Blizzard. Actually, the guy that I'm designing a game with right now, he works for Blizzard. So
Oh wow.
so yeah, he was also the senior animator on BioShock Infinite.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, I can't. Pete, I promise I won't talk
Nothing
any
is right.
shit about Blizzard. I promise you.
Now Danielle, you had a question about a Blizzard game that you used to be really into. That you wanted to
It
know
wasn't
about.
a specific question. I just used to play WoW.
Oh
And
wow, yeah,
a
a
WoW's
lot.
awesome.
She tells me she,
World of Warcraft for everyone
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
like
yeah,
me
yeah.
out
World
there.
Warcraft.
Now Danielle, you lost many a year to WoW, right?
I did
What was your character's name?
Ilancia, and she was a warlock.
That's cool.
Did you play WoW, Doug?
I played WoW a little. I didn't play it for years, but
Didn't you used
I
to play StarCraft a lot in junior high?
played a lot of StarCraft.
Yeah, I
in
remember
junior
that. I
high.
never. Well, those games look like crap to me.
Listen, I'm with you. Like, I don't play online games.
No,
No.
that's what it is.
I
It's-
play
need
games
a
to get the
story.
fuck away from people.
Right.
Like,
right.
I play Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas and stuff, so I can go to, like, a magical fairyland and just, like, do whatever. Like, now, because I have a kid and stuff like that, it's mainly, like, the Switch.
Sure.
So, like, what am I playing now? Mostly. Like, Monster Boy.
Okay. Yeah.
The Wonder Boy like spinoff. I just pre-ordered Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah.
So I'm picking that up on Friday. Diablo 3 on Switch. But it's just like I could play that. Like Baba Booey over there is getting a little.
Tom is a serious.
Yeah.
Tom is hiding over there. He's a serious
playing
video
a game
game.
on that computer right now.
If you walk into
Minimize,
Tom's
minimize.
house, I've never seen anybody with as many crappy. Or Tom, tell me yes or no. How many of the original Xbox titles are you missing?
Oh, I'm North American. I'm like 70 short.
That's awesome.
I love the original Xbox. That's my
I
favorite
like the
system.
original Xbox.
Like this guy's, he's got games. Well, you had me looking for like some crappy movie tie-in game a couple months ago.
Be more specific.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I don't remember what it was. He had me in an old game store. I happened to be in this game store, and I called him. I was like, they have a lot of Xbox games, and he was like, look for this, look for this, look for this, look for this.
You guys go to Brooklyn Video Games
Yeah.
The one, which
on 68th and 20th. That's my guy. I used to run tournaments for him.
I gotta check it out.
I'm going to do a shout out too. Video Game Trading Post out in Levittown, Long Island. I don't know if you've been
Yeah, Patrick.
In Levittown, Long Island.
They're pretty good too. Whatever.
Can I jump over to something here?
Yeah.
Our guy here, Patrick, has been throwing down some voices. They're really good.
Thank you.
They're intense.
Oh, you haven't
Yes.
heard all of them.
Yeah.
no,
So
we're
so
getting there.
can we talk about your voice acting a bit?
So I was like the kid that made prank phone calls all the time. Like when I was editor-in-chief of Brooklyn College's newspaper, we used to prank phone call the other office all the time.
That's one of the few things I remember about when Doug and I were on the paper for like a day. Was you used to do voices all the time.
Yeah.
That I definitely knew.
So like I got called into security because they thought like a big African American guy called like the office. I told this guy I was gonna punt his sister across like Fulton Street and stuff like that, and they were like, but
And then you spun that questionably racist maneuver into a career.
yeah. But the thing is, it's like I was the type of person where I always wanted to do it, and I didn't know how to even like get involved. And then what happened was one day I was on Twitter, and whenever I see a game that I like on Twitter, I always contact the developer. Let me interview you. Like, can I play a beta? Da 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 da. So I saw this game, and it kind of looked like Minecraft meets like Castlevania. It was really cool. It was like a priest walking across like this dark like forest, and the tree just like came alive and like bitch slapped him. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I messaged the guys. I did an email interview with them, and it did well on the site. And then I found out I was the first person to ever interview them. So they were like, oh, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. So then they're like, do you want to play a beta? I'm like, sure. So now I start playing the game, and it's a like point and click survival horror game, and you get a letter, and you have to grab the letter from like somebody puts a letter under like the door, and you have to grab it, and then you start to read, and it's like it's been a week. So like WEEK, week, right? Mm-hmm. It was spelled WEAK.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay. So I stopped playing, and I messaged the developer, and I'm like, listen.
Oh my god.
In addition to being a journalist, I've edited people's master's theses. I've edited tons of stuff. I'm like, I really love the way this game looks. I love the music. I've only played it for like 5 minutes, and I love it. But you lost me here.
At your typo.
So how about this? How about you pay me, and I edit all of your game. I edit all of the dialogue in your game, the entire story, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, how much would that cost? And we came up with a number, and boom. So then they gave me all the dialogue, and within that day, I edited the whole thing. They slapped it back in, and I'm like, yes. Like, oh my God, this is my first job in the video game industry.
Right.
So wait, you recorded the voices?
No, wait, I'm
What
getting
how'd
to
you
that.
edit dialogue?
I'm getting to that. Calm
Okay,
down.
sorry,
all right?
sorry.
By the way, was this Uncanny Valley?
No, this was the Padre.
Oh, Padre.
Yeah. So
He
now
just loves old. He just,
yeah. So now I'm story editor of the game. And so the thing is, to be fair to these guys, to Benson Balaz, because they're from Hungary, so English isn't their first language. They're
Sure,
freaking awesome guys.
Right.
They're amazing. I love them. They gave me my first opportunity. I talk to them every day. Like, I love them. They're great. But so now a couple of weeks goes by, and now they're sending me dialogue like every day to edit. And I'm like, yo, I'm part of a team. Like, holy crap, this is like happening.
It's cool.
So now they're getting ready to go to Kickstarter. So now they want me to edit the whole Kickstarter spiel and stuff. So I do that. And then they message me, and they're like, Patrick, the voice actor left. And I'm like, like that's not good.
He'll only pronounce weak as weak.
Yeah. So, but the thing was, his voice didn't necessarily match the game. So the game is very dark and brooding, and he sounded like Russell Brand.
okay.
It's like, oh, I'm very like wacky Englishman. Oh my God.
yeah.
You know.
That's a voice they lean on sometimes. in
It
those
didn't
games,
make any
yeah.
sense, like, because the game is so dark, you know. And so I told them, like, I could do it. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I could do it. So then they're like, all right, record something and let us know. So the thing is, like, I had edited all of the dialogue, and I added a lot of stuff. It's like I added like Roddy Piper stuff in there, Luke Cage stuff. Like I made it like really.
It was in your voice ultimately.
Yeah, it was already in my voice.
Yeah.
So then I go in my man cave, and I'm like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? So I know that I can do. I could bloody do that English accent. I could talk like this the entire day if I wanted to, and then I know I can do the movie voice, like.
In a world, one man, one tortilla. Frank thinks this is funny. Holy crap, he's clapping.
You know, so I'm like, I need.
So good.
It's so good.
I'm like, I need to find a way to combine these. So I'm just like, So I was just trying a bunch of things.
Sure.
And then a bloke came up with this dark English brooding accent. And so, hello, my name is Alexander. I am the Padre.
And I recorded like a nice little chunk of dialogue, and I sent it to them, and they like immediately sent it back, and they were like, "This is perfect."
Yeah.
They're like, "Can you record all of it now?" And I'm just like, "Wow, like this just happened."
That's amazing.
So now they don't speak great English either. So now for the Kickstarter, they're like, "Oh, we want you to narrate the whole Kickstarter video." And I'm like, "In what voice?" And they're like, "Oh, your regular voice." So then now I went from just being this behind the scenes guy that was making the game better to now I'm the star of the game, and now I'm helping like social media wise and everything. So that was a really cool process.
I think. Okay, Tom. We like it.
Tom loves a good applause.
Thank you,
Tom
Tom.
loves to throw an applause.
So I think, Patrick, what you're saying, your niche here in everything is you've cornered markets that haven't even existed yet, such as the video game documentary books and the taking a person from another country's video game concept to an American audience and making sure it checked out for an American audience.
Yeah.
No one else has done that.
No, yeah, I mean,
It's awesome.
so Frank had a game in mind that he wanted to play with you.
So we like to do.
We like to put people on the spot.
yeah,
As long
I
as my
do-
clothes could stay on. Then.
Yeah,
Your
well,
clothes
okay.
can stay on. We'll
Okay.
give you
If they
more
have to.
clothes. Here's
Okay.
the snuggie. Okay. So here's the game. You're going to use your amazing movie trailer narrator voice, and you'll just start talking. You'll set us up. We'll be the actors. We'll do a little dialogue. It bounces back to you. It bounces back to us. And we just do a movie trailer.
Okay.
You're
based on
making us-
anything.
you're just making us say
Okay.
and do silly
So
stuff.
it's like, whose line is it anyway? basically?
Sure.
Sort of. We
Okay.
kind of do that stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, crap.
His name was Frank.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
And he had something important to say to John.
Listen, man, we really got to talk.
What is it?
I don't know how to say this.
He didn't know how to say it,
I really don't know how to say this.
but he knew how to touch it.
I bought you a ferret.
You know how to touch my ferret?
Well, I bought you the ferret.
Robert De Niro is the ferret.
Fucking, you talking to me? Over here? Oh!
That little ferret is looking at you weird.
I got him in Little Italy. I thought you'd love him.
Wow. He smells like olive oil.
How the fuck you see my mole through the hair? Like, I don't get it.
This is going
This
nowhere.
is I love the way.
So fast.
I love the way it's going. Give us other characters. Who are we actors?
His name was John.
Yes.
And he had a shirt that had a whale on it.
Yeah. Do you know about this whale?
No, what is it?
It's a minor league baseball team from 1897.
I think there's someone behind you.
Oh my God.
Joe Pesci was behind him.
Let me tell you something. These guys behind me. I could tell you who's behind me. I look at my shoes. I look up. I see him standing there. This is really James Gandolfini.
The worst movie ever.
John wanted to know if he was funny or not.
I don't think I am.
Not today.
You think I'm funny? Like a clown?
John's fiance was laughing uncontrollably.
There you go. I think that sells the game, right?
Literally.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that sells the game right
That
there.
was
Danielle's button on the end of the game is the best part of the
Oh
whole
my
damn
God.
thing. I was like, this game's not going anywhere until he said that, and then Danielle laughed, and I went, well, there you go. People are going to love this game.
She was
because
a,
Danielle's there.
she was a warlock.
She was a warlock who wasted 3 years of her life playing a video game in her basement.
And ironically, she didn't gain 100 pounds. And
Did you gain 100 pounds?
I mean, it was a long time ago.
wow,
Wow.
that's fucked up.
Patrick, something you'll see here is how many times John insulted Danielle.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive.
It's impressive.
Really bad.
They fight after we leave.
Oh my
No,
god.
no.
Okay, so that
the
was
cops come, it's like,
pretty.
report of a 565 in progress.
You know.
What's funny is that we do a lot of voices too, and I'm always jealous of people who can just do them. Because like I do voices like crazy. I can, but I won't just do it.
Listen to
like
his
the way
Sinatra.
you do it.
He does a good Sinatra.
I won't
Yeah.
just see. He's gonna ask me to maybe do it now. I won't
It's
do
so
it.
good.
No, it's not good, baby.
Not good.
It's-
That is good. You know.
when you
You guys watch Pokemon?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hold on. Oh wait, watch. Ready?
His mouth is not moving.
It's closed tight.
Tightly closed.
What are we listening to? What is this? I don't
This is
know
the Jigglypuff song, and he is a ventriloquist.
This is so creepy to watch.
Yeah. But now I gotta say, a lot of people do the Jigglypuff voice. Not like that. That's yours is better. Even with your mouth moving, it's better.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So when did you start doing voices?
I was just bored.
Just bored at
I
home?
got in a car accident when I was 18.
Here's the story.
So I'm 6'4", so like I was like 220, so I was in good shape. And my whole goal was to take a year off after high school, continue to get in good shape, then like go and transfer to like a SUNY like Division III hockey program and try and walk on and try and play minor league hockey. That was my goal. I was always like a nerd in denial, and I got in a car accident. And I herniated 4 discs in my lower back and compressed 4 vertebrae in my neck. So I had a cane for like a year. I was going to physical therapy like 5 times a week. Played a lot of video games and stuff like that. And I remember I was listening to Opie and Anthony, and Pablo Francisco was on. And he's like,
In a world, one man, one tortilla.
And
Right.
I was like, oh shit, I wonder like if I could do that. And I just,
It's like right here.
and I found like
Wow.
where it is, and I could always do like other voices, like when your world is kind of weird
yeah.
and you wish that you were there.
And you
Kermit
can
the
sing.
Frog.
Yeah. Oh, he can sing too. Oh, he can sing for sure.
I was in a couple of bands during that whole process.
He does
of,
everything.
of like finding myself.
Can you do more voices now?
I think it's like if somebody tells me like what they need. So it's like I'm in more than one game. So I'm in the Caillou Offensive. I'm the narrator. So it's kind of like NBA Jam kind of thing. Like I'm the
Okay.
narrator. So I'm like, winner, boom shakalaka, like that
sure,
kind of thing.
sure, sure. Yeah, yeah.
It's like white dad being
yeah.
cool.
It's like winner, loser. And then the second game that I was in is called, and it's still in development, it's called Relentless Rex. And it's adorable. It's cel-shaded, so it's like hand-drawn. And you play this little dinosaur that has to run from this like super big dinosaur, this T-Rex, and I play the T-Rex. So originally on Twitter and Instagram, the developer was like putting pictures of the people he wanted to play Relentless Rex. And it was like Kevin Michael Richardson, the guy from Candyman and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, I could do something for you. And he just like, at first it was like, nah, I'm okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm saying to myself, if this fucking guy just gives me an opportunity, I could give him something. So he said he liked Kevin Michael Richardson's like Shredder from the Ninja Turtles.
Sure.
So I came up with this voice. I am Relentless Rex. I'm a big dinosaur running around and just chasing shit
Yeah.
with my small arms and blah blah.
And he liked it.
It's very Claw from
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You know?
yeah.
So then I did their Kickstarter video for them, and now they're doing development, and they're going to add some story to add me into the game. So it's Caillou Offensive, Relentless Rex, the Padre, and then Kroom, I do the voice, too, of the main character. But I do
In a world, one man.
But what we do is we put it through the Famine Tracker, so it sounds like it's 8-bit.
Right.
And it's like all garbled, and it sounds like shit, but it's great at the same time.
That's cool.
So like before you fight the first boss, like I say cheese and rice, but it sounds like Jesus Christ. So it's like I'm like,
Cheese and rice.
but it's all like they add like the filter on it and stuff.
Yeah.
So like when the level starts, I go,
Come on, let's fight.
but it sounds very 8-bit. So it's
Right.
like
Come on, let's fight.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else do I do? Oh, you ready?
Wow. That's a good
That
Chewbacca.
was great.
Did you do South Park? You mentioned.
No, not really.
No.
I love Cartman though.
See, it's very rare that you find somebody who loves that character so much and doesn't attempt
I
to do
know.
the voice.
Because if I can't do it well, I won't do it.
I respect that. That's
You
the
know?
problem. That's why people ask me to do voices all the time and I won't do them because I don't think they're good. And if I can't do it right, I don't want to
Yeah.
do it. But
I
then
mean, I'll
again,
try, but I
I'm
can't
usually
do it.
wrong.
Can you do like any Family Guy?
No.
You could be just asking people. But he's
Yeah,
what do you think?
we
What,
can.
do you think? He's on YouTube?
Not
Sure.
He's not
dude.
doing Family Guy.
No.
I hate that. Those things bother me.
What are you going to do?
Iowa.
He's sitting here cranking out all these voices.
No, but it's kind of
Does everyone have like a voice they can do?
Don't
oh,
get excited, Tom. I don't
not
know
one
about
that I could pull out of my rear end.
Tom, do you have one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
Go ahead, Tom.
You ever see?
He forgets to use
He's
the
the
mic.
only
like he's
sound
not the
engineer
sound
who
engineer.
doesn't use the mic.
The mic.
Did you ever see 8 Crazy Nights?
Oh yeah, you do this one. You do this one all
the old
time.
man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the old man.
Whitey. I can do Whitey. That's all you
All right,
guys.
let's
That's all I
hear
can
Whitey.
give you. No, I'm gonna do. In the beginning, he talks about all the stores that are in the
yeah,
mall.
yeah,
So he goes, "I'll do the Bavarian cream." Oh, Bavarian cream. She knows what. I'm a diabetic. It's Bavarian cream. You want Spencer Gifts to go over there? You want a toy? You go to Toys R Us.
That's great. That's great. You got a game for Tom?
Yeah.
You got a game he
Can
can
we
be
do
in?
8 Crazy Nights the game?
That's great.
Well, there is a little Nicky game on Game Boy Color.
Really?
I have it because I used to call my mother-in-law Little Nicky because she looked like him. But,
That's funny.
yeah,
I used to
yeah.
do a Little Nicky. I don't do it anymore.
Do it.
No.
No. Do you finish every video game you start?
No.
You don't.
No.
The ones I review, but like.
I'll
yeah.
admit, I attempted to finish Nelly Coodalot. I didn't get all the way through it because the handling was so kind of frustrating on the Switch.
Sure.
But I've never really finished a video game, and I play a lot of them.
Wow, you're a communist.
I can't get through them.
And you're gonna marry this guy? Can't finish?
Some of them
Wow.
can't see it through. I can't get through a lot of them. I don't know why. I always get distracted one thing
No,
into
I
the
feel
next.
you.
Next
I
games
mean-
come out, and then
Yep.
and they're all the good ones I like come out at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll buy an Assassin's Creed game, play it for literally the week before the new WWE 2K game comes out, and I never touch Assassin's Creed again.
Yeah.
So Patrick, what's the best shittiest game you have or played?
Night Trap,
Oh, nice.
no doubt.
What's that? Tell us about
Did you
it.
get it for the? Did you get the anniversary edition for the new
Yeah.
consoles? Oh, you did.
Yeah. So the thing is, I interviewed Rob Fulop. He is the developer of Night Trap, for the first book, and Night Trap is considered like one of the hottest pieces of garbage for the Sega CD, but it's an amazing game. So this is the thing. The original Super Mario Brothers, if that comes out in like 1991, it's not nearly as good because it's dated. So like Night Trap came out in like 1993, but it was originally made in 1985.
Wow. So it was
Because-
way behind.
Yeah, and the reason why is because it was originally designed on this system, designed by Hasbro, okay, that never got released. So they had like all of these games that were like control your own movie kind of games. The system was it was called Project Nemo. It was a VHS based system. So all of the games ran on VHS tapes. It was
Oh.
like really cool technology.
It
It was
could
like
jump ahead to
Yeah.
different points.
yeah.
I had a game, I think, like that. Not to cut you off, of Clue.
But you did.
I know, I did. But of Clue, Clue the
Yeah,
board
yeah,
game, but it was
sure.
live actors. It was not Clue the movie, which is like I worship this movie. It was something else. It was terrible, but you could jump around through it. Yeah. You've heard of it?
Yeah.
Ah, of course.
Sure. So what happens is now this system is like gone. So 8 or 9, not 8 or 9, like 8 years later. Sorry, my math sucks. I'm a writer. Sega CD comes out. So now Sega CD, they can totally leverage the VHS system on the CD. Like it works. You couldn't put something like this on a cartridge. There wasn't enough hard drive space there wasn't enough space on the actual cartridge. So now this company, since they made all of these games, they're like, we might as well release it on Sega CD. And they did. And people didn't respond the way that they were supposed to. And then in Night Trap, you have like, it's basically like vampires killing young women in like a haunted house kind of thing going on. And it's great. It's super cheesy, schlocky, B-horror. But what happened was this was like the beginning of the whole rating system. And Doom was one of those games, Lethal Enforcers, Primal Rage, Mortal Kombat. And all those games made it out like bad out of that whole thing. But for some reason, Night Trap made it out the worst. So the guy that made this game, his girlfriend ended up leaving him because of it. And like crazy stuff. But listen, playing it on the Switch was awesome too because this was like 2 weeks before my manuscript had to come out. So before I had to submit it. And then I found out that they were doing the anniversary edition and that the game was being recoded from scratch because they didn't have the original source code. So I reached out to the developers, Screaming Villains, and I was like, guys, I'm putting out a book in like 2 weeks. Can I interview? And they said, yeah. And then they sent me a copy of the game and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's wild.
But it's a great game. Night Trap is so much fun, but like, so many people think it's terrible.
Do you like Phantasmagoria? It's the same concept, right?
Yeah.
Same shit, yeah.
Yeah, I love those types of games. Like, Dragon's Lair, Brain
Yeah.
Dead 13, like all of those things. Like, and that's what I dig. I dig things that are like different from the norm. That's the reason why I signed on to do the Padre. It was like completely different. So
What was your first video game ever?
the first video game I ever it was probably like a Mario game, but the first game that I remember like actually like being connected to was RBI Baseball on the Nintendo. That was my jam when I was a kid.
Yeah. That's
So,
funny.
and that game is featured in my sports book that's coming out in the spring. So like getting to speak to Peter Lipson, like the guy that designed it, was
Right.
just like, psh,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
So you know a lot about video games. It's very clear. What I'm gonna do is I'm not necessarily gonna put your knowledge to the test, but we're gonna. This is a whole room game. Everybody's gonna play this game. But for the interest of fairness, it's gonna be our rating game for the week. We do a rating game every episode, and this time, rather than rating, the game is video game character, or random collection of words that I put together. and we're going to start with Frank, and then we'll go to you, Patrick, and then everybody else will answer.
Oh my god.
And the question is this a character from a video game,
Or did you
or
make
is it
up?
a random bunch of words that I put together?
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm the only one who knows the answers. Okay, the first one could be relatively easy.
This is mine.
Well, they're all to you.
Oh.
And then they're going to go to you, and then they'll go to everybody else.
Oh, okay.
The one is Ansem the Wise.
Ansem the Wise.
No, that sounds real to me.
Okay?
Yeah, I think it's a random collection of.
You think it's random?
Words, yeah.
Okay, Doug?
Ansem the Wise.
I'm gonna say random.
Okay.
Random.
Keep the mic with you.
Random.
Danielle? Loudly?
Random.
Wow, I thought that one would be easy. Ansem the Wise is a character from Kingdom Hearts.
Thank you,
To
everyone.
be fair, Kingdom Hearts has so many characters and it's an
yeah.
absolute mess of a game.
Yeah.
So that says nothing.
So just say again who got it right.
Okay, Frank got it right.
Thank you.
The next one is
Frank, what's Kingdom Hearts?
Broken
Frank?
Clock is
Kingdom
right.
Hearts, Disney game.
And let's get. We got a lot to go through.
Yeah, okay.
The only ones allowed to take their time are Frank and Patrick. Everybody else just answer. Okay, the next one is Rupert Lamplight.
No, you made that up.
No, that's a character.
Fuck.
Anybody else?
Sounds real.
You think it's real?
Yeah.
I agree.
Why can't I go after Patrick?
Frank?
That's the point.
I made it up.
Really?
Oh, I got it right.
That sounded like something
I know, they're made to
Rupert
trick
Rupert
you.
Like an
Lamplight.
NPC
They're
from
made
Diablo.
to trick you. There are so many games out there. Okay, ready?
Hello, Rupert Lamplight.
Pizza pasta.
Oh my god.
Okay, I want it to be real, but what game would pizza pasta be? No, I think you've made it up.
Listen, if the last one was a character, then I'm gonna go with character.
I'm gonna say real.
Fake.
Fake.
Pizza pasta is a character from Punch Out. Not the original Punch Out, but like the follow-up.
Ah.
Well, from Super Punch Out?
Yes.
Okay.
Pizza pasta.
Pizza.
Now, I didn't know this offhand. I looked some of
Yeah,
these
yeah.
up. Okay, the next one is fish ciabatta.
Sounds a lot like.
This is hard, right?
You're not saying fish chobani.
No. Fish ciabatta. Not Chobani.
I think ciabatta bread's a fairly new thing in our pop culture, so I'm going to say that is not real.
Yeah, I don't think I know.
Okay.
It is?
No, it's
Oh,
not. I'm
okay.
not even going to let you
Yeah,
guess.
all right.
It's ciabatta. I made it
Oh,
up.
okay.
So glad I know it's fake.
Like fish
Okay.
ciabatta. Did you guys have that for dinner yesterday?
Yeah,
or something
right.
like
Fish
that? Okay.
ciabatta. The next one is Afro Thunder.
Oh,
Oh, I
that's
hope
from
that's real.
Ready to Rumble Boxing.
Yes, Ready
It's
to Rumble Boxing.
It's Ready to Rumble Boxing.
I love Afro Thunder.
The next one, Hot Coldman.
Oh my god, I love it. I hope it's real.
That sounds like a Mega Man boss, right?
Hot Coldman.
Definitely
Hot
could be, but
Coldman.
I feel like that's something John would make up.
I mean, it is.
It's fake.
No, it's a character from Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, Metal Gear
Hot
Solid.
Wow.
Coldman sounds
Hot
to me like an
Coldman.
angry Jewish snowman who works in Manhattan.
Buttons made of coal. You had nothing better than coal. Is it racist? I'm gonna go no on that one. Just FYI, we're jumping back in, not staying in. Okay. Okay, wait. Let's calm this character. His name is Spaghetti Squashed, with a D at the end.
You made that up. People don't even start eating spaghetti squash like 5 years ago. It's fake.
Made up.
Spaghetti squashed.
Yeah, it's made up.
It is made up. Ready? This one's easy, so don't give it away. Pink, gold, peach. 3 words. Pink, gold, peach.
I will use my limited experience and say this is something from Mario and it's real.
Pink Gold Peach.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's Princess Peach, but like, just those 3 words together.
Just pink, gold, peach. It's like a
what
name.
names-
It's like
that-
a Mad Lib.
That is what names are.
3 names.
I'm gonna give it to you. It is a character from the latest Mario Kart.
Wow.
I don't know why. It's rose gold. It's peach, but she's rose gold,
Wow.
and they called it pink gold peach. I
Wow.
don't know why. Only a few more.
In
Only a few more.
translation,
Uh-huh.
lost there.
Okay, the
Wow.
next one is Xander Lupini.
Xander Lupini.
is like a
Lupini.
little healthy bean,
It's
isn't
a
it?
little bean. Doesn't mean it's not a name.
I want to do a voice for Xander Lupini first, though.
That's
Can't do it. I think it's
bad.
fake. It's
That's a
fake.
bad one.
I say it's fake. Oh, Xander Lupini, yeah.
Okay. We're gonna get through this.
Hi, my name is Xander Lupini.
Xander Lupini.
How you doing? Oh my god.
So Xander Lupini is fake.
Yeah.
Okay, I had
Like
the
Buffy
next one
and
I had.
Xander?
Even though you said it already, the next one I had was Chobani of the West.
That's real.
That's a real person.
Wow.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah.
That's real.
That's a real
Several
person.
games, yeah.
Well,
Many
what does
games.
he do?
Oh, he's awesome. He gets into all sorts of trouble and shit. He goes to college and
He's
What
literally
game is this?
he's literally like if you were to follow Larry from Three's Company
Yeah.
into college
He's
as a
awesome.
full-grown adult.
Well, what's the game?
it's just you getting into stupid situations.
It's
with
called Leisure Suit
yeah.
Larry.
yeah,
with
a lot of-
women and
it's
yeah.
a sex game. A lot of girls with like real big boobies.
Yeah.
Really?
They made it on Xbox, original Xbox. This guy over here.
Wet dreams don't dry, baby.
Is that the name of the game? Wet Dreams Don't
Yeah,
Dry?
Wet Dreams don't. Yeah.
All right.
Ton of games, like 8 or 9 games in the series.
I'm looking it up.
Candy Sucks with 3 X's.
Sounds like it's from what's it called? Chainsaw Lollipop or whatever. Lollipop Chainsaw, yeah.
So you're saying it's a real character?
Yeah.
I
Sounds real.
agree with them. Sure.
It is a real character. She is the porn star character from GTA
Ah,
Vice City.
cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're
Right,
great
so-
games.
Great.
They're a lot of
Leisure
fun.
Suit Larry, yeah.
Yeah.
I was never allowed to play it. Well,
Oh,
then my parents never knew it
Lefties. Is
existed.
Lefties the bar from Three's Company? No.
No, that's the Regal Beagle.
The Regal Beagle.
All right, two more, and then we're done. Two more.
Shit, somebody just bought a book off of me. Awesome.
Yeah?
You just sold a book?
Making sales! All right, I love
You
that.
can tell everybody.
I love it. See, I told you.
You
so.
sold your book.
All right, the next one is Lupus Barebones McGrath.
I
Barebones in quotes. Lupus.
don't like that his first name's Lupus. That sounds horrible.
Sounds like
to
a
me.
character from a boxing game or something like
It
that.
does, doesn't it?
Lupus Barebones McGrath?
Yeah. I think what we've learned here is, if nothing else, I'm great at making up names.
You are. You're very good.
You
You're-
know?
You're good.
Xander
You're
Lupini?
good.
Yeah.
Xander Lupini.
You're good.
Yeah, okay. Barebones is not a character. Last one. Miles per hour.
Oh, that's great. Sure. I think
That's
it's real.
yeah, that's a character.
It is a character, but I did not realize that it was supposed to mean miles per hour until today.
Right this moment, as you said.
Well,
it.
no. So Tails from Sonic,
Yeah.
his name is Miles Tails Prower. Prower. It took me until today to realize that his name is Miles per hour. I didn't even think about
Genius.
it. Genius.
Yeah.
Well, you did pretty good. I think you guys all did pretty good.
And he sold a book while he was sitting
I just
there.
want to say too, like, anyone that ever calls himself like an expert on like any topic, I feel is like completely full of shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
because it's so vast.
Yeah, so it's like the games that are featured in like the 3 books, I know a ton about, and there's other games that I know a ton about. But it's like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. And
like-
it's funny, when I developed that game, I was like, is it going to feel like I'm trying to like catch him and not knowing something? But like, no, there's so much out there.
Yeah.
No,
Who knows
because he literally
Hot Coldman? Like,
sold a book
yeah,
while
so-
you were doing the
that's
game.
proof that during the game that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah,
we're
I got
gonna.
a PayPal notification. I love
That's
it.
excellent.
All right, Tom, take it easy with the
God,
applause.
what did you do? What's happening to you today?
I'm happy for him.
So I want to wrap up soon, just because it's late. We started this episode pretty late, and I want to get you guys home. However, I had one question that I was thinking about before. You're very active on social media with your daughter.
I'm like a whore on social
with your
media,
daughter now
yeah.
specifically.
Well, not with my daughter, but
Well,
yeah.
no. But
Yeah.
you post a lot with your daughter
Sure.
on social media.
Yeah.
And I think it's great.
Thank
you.
you.
There's you guys have it's so great to see you using social media in such a great way. So being involved in video games as you are,
Mm-hmm.
as a society, so often we see video games as a boys thing, as a male-dominated
Mm-hmm.
media format. And now having a daughter, she's going to grow up
Oh, sure.
around video games,
Yeah.
around wrestling, around
Mhm.
sort of typically male-dominated things. How have you been trying to combat that? I know she's young. Have you been trying to think about from your perspective, like from what you do?
So like my whole thing is like I just try and surround my daughter with as much stimuli as possible, and whatever she gets into, she gets into. You know, I mean, like I know the words to like Disney songs that I never knew before. You know, and like it's funny because like when I put my wife to bed, I'm the one. When I put my wife to bed, you hear me? When I put my daughter
I was
to
like,
bed,
wow, this guy is good.
yeah.
Great.
When I put my daughter to bed, I'm the one that sings to her. Like my wife doesn't sing to her. My wife, I love you, Melissa. I love you so much. But she sounds like Lucille Ball when she sings.
Hilarious.
I'm sure she does plenty of other things.
And she
very
knows
well.
this. She does a ton of things great. She puts up with me, you know. But so it's like when I tell like my friends that they're like, "You sing to your daughter," and I'm like, "Yeah," And they're like, why? I'm like, because little kids should be sung to.
Yeah.
That's what you should
absolutely.
do, you know? And it's like, I have no problem. Like, if my daughter wants me to sing in a falsetto, like Elsa, if
Yeah.
I have to do it, I have to do it, you know? Like,
You sing with your daughter on Facebook all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
You know? So, and then it's like, when somebody says, oh, that's not manly.
Right.
Who says who?
Right.
When somebody says, oh, that's something that like a woman would do. Well, says who? You know, like I'm 6'4", I'm 290 pounds. You want to say that again?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's like, my whole thing is just like, I want to surround her with as much cool stuff as possible. And whatever she gets into, she gets into.
Right.
It's like my daughter right now is like totally into like wrestling, video games, Pokemon, and Disney princesses. So it's like every day it's like when she goes in the man cave, she'll say man cave and then she'll go princesses, and she'll take all the Disney Infinity princesses off and she'll like talk to them and stuff like that. And then she'll get bored of that and then she'll get my Ultimate Warrior figure and my DDP figure and she'll be like wrestling. We have wrestling matches and stuff like that. So it's like it's a little bit of everything. I want my daughter to be multifaceted.
Absolutely,
You know?
yeah.
So that's the thing, you know, it's like my nephew is 10 and I remember like he got a Happy Meal and it was like a My Little Pony and he's like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, bro, there's bronies out there.
There are
If you like My Little Pony, I ain't gonna say anything to you. Like that's what you want to do
because it's a horse.
Yeah.
Right,
and
right, yeah.
And I'm like, if
horse.
anybody says anything to you, then they get clapped. I take care of it. Don't worry about it, you know?
Right.
So it's just like people get so hung up on like what's masculine, what's feminine. And it's like, you know this because like, I mean, me and you are similar in the sense I love theater.
Right.
I love like musical theater, you know? I love Rent. I've seen Rent 1,000 times, you know? One Song, Glory. I love that shit. It's
Told you,
fucking
keep
great.
telling you.
You know? And it's like when I tell people that, they go,
Right.
You like theater? Oh my god. Like, okay. What's the problem? You know? I remember probably like 3 or 4 girlfriends before my wife. I was supposed to be wingman for this guy. You know, and he was getting a tattoo. And he was like, do me a favor, just hang out with her for like an hour, blah, blah, blah. And we started walking around talking. I was trying to be nice, sell the other guy, you know? And then what ended up happening was the guy getting the tattoo started like throwing up. So it was like, he totally like...
He lost his shot.
Right.
Lost
yeah.
his shot. So then she was like, oh, let's go to Rite Aid or whatever. I wanted to get something. I want to get something to drink. So I go with her. So then this was like right after my accident. So I had a cane and stuff. It was like a pimp daddy. And she goes to me. She points at a Soap Opera Digest. And she's like, oh, what do you think of her? And without even hesitating, I go, oh, that's Teresa from Passions. And she goes, what? I'm like, oh, shit. I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, you watch Passions? And then I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I really like it. I watch it every day. It's a great show. She's beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, that took a lot of, like, guts for you to say that. She's like, you must be really, like, comfortable with your masculinity. And I'm saying to myself, I kind of, like, just blew up my own spot. But, yeah, I'm comfortable with my masculinity, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So then she's like, I want to do something when we go back to the tattoo parlor. So she's like, so don't say anything. So we go back to the tattoo parlor. And she goes to the guy that's getting the tattoo. She's like, oh, do you know who this is? He goes, oh, she's fucking hot. Blah, 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 blah. Like typical, like, broski, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the night, I got the number and she never spoke to him again.
And that's your wife.
And then
So- And then 4 girlfriends later was my wife.
Passions.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, it's just like, you got to own it. Whoever you are, you got to just own it.
You gotta be you, right?
So like with my daughter, if she wants to be into like manly stuff, and like my wife is the biggest girly girl, like biggest. But like we went to junior high school together, and she's 2 years older than me. So in 8th grade, she was like towering over me. I was scared shitless of her. You know, she would wear like a Nick starter jacket or whatever, and she used to play softball and stuff, and I'm like, she'll kick my ass. I'm scared of her.
Right.
And then I saw her like 10 years later, and she had long blonde hair and lipstick and this and that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
So people go through phases, all sorts of stuff, and then like the thing is, whatever you're into, you're into. I think if I look at everybody and I say like, this person is a surprise. There's things about this person that, like, if I saw them on the bus, I would think, okay, this person is this. People think I'm a cop or a sanitation worker all the time. And then I start doing voices and I start talking about writing and things like that. And then they're like, oh, wow, you're actually smart. I didn't think that you were smart.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
oh, okay, great.
Because
You
you're
know?
just assuming. Right.
Yeah. You know, so as far as my daughter goes, I want people to like look at her and be like, wow, you're a lot deeper and more intricate and intuitive than I thought that you were. So I wanted to get into as many things as possible.
That's great.
Like one of her first words was Gengar. You know, like I was,
Love it.
you know, I'm
The
like, who's
woman after
this? And she's like,
Danielle's
Gengar. I'm like, oh my God, I love you. And my wife is like, what did you do to my kid? And
Yeah.
I'm like, she's awesome.
And I mean, the Nintendo Switch helps.
Sure.
Too, because
She loves to pet Pikachu.
It's great that Nintendo
That's what she wants to do.
has
all the
brought
time.
forth a system that is really accessible
Sure.
to kids. I think, in my opinion, it's really changed the way that video games are being viewed. I mean, between the Wii and the Switch, Nintendo's really ahead of it, and
Sure.
and it's really helping, I think, bridge that gap.
They're
between-
proving too that you don't need like top-notch technology, because I mean, if you think about it, like the Switch's like processor and stuff like that, I mean, it's basically like a PlayStation 3. It's like a mobile PlayStation 3.
Right.
You know, and yet their market share is insane right now. They're making like a ton of money. But if you look at the Xbox One, it's the strongest, the most powerful system, and no one's buying it.
Right.
You know, and then the PlayStation 4 is somewhere in between, and they have the best exclusives. So it's like that parity, that like balance is really good for the video game industry right now.
And now, Tom, like you'll buy stuff on the Switch. If it comes out for Switch, you'll get it for Switch, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's right. I just something about having that portability has been a real.
Sure. I've never docked my Switch.
Yeah,
See, and I only play it docked, and Danielle has never docked her Switch.
I can't dock it. And that's the thing too, because I have a daughter. So it's like the only time that I play video games is when she's sleeping and my wife's not home. If my wife's home and my daughter's sleeping, it's our time. So
Sure,
it's like
sure.
today, I mean, I was at work at like 6:30. I came home, changed, and then I came here. So when I come home, she's getting a foot massage and we're going to bed, and then I'm waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's like I would love to play Diablo for like 2 hours. Not going to happen.
Do you practice your video game thumbs on your wife's feet?
Get the thumbs going. You got
I give
strong
a
thumbs.
slam and foot massage.
I
That's all
believe
I'm
it. I
asking.
believe it. That's great. I think that's a
do.
great note to end on.
Danielle, give Patrick your feet. Okay. No.
I'm already going to lose my job.
Now you lose your
Now I'm
wife.
going to get divorced. Oh,
That's funny.
man.
Well, Patrick, I want to thank you for coming.
Awesome.
I think we want to plug your
Sure.
book and your Instagram. Review Fix has an Instagram.
No, I have
you
an
have your
Instagram.
own
Yeah,
Instagram.
Patrick Hickey Jr. at Instagram. Can I plug everything?
Of course,
Okay.
go ahead.
So you could get me on Instagram at Patrick Hickey Jr. One word, PatrickHickeyJr. On Twitter, Review Fix Pat. My official site is patrickhickeyjr.com. You can also buy. So this is the thing. My books are available on like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, like all the places that you would buy them from. So, but the thing is like, if you buy the book through me, I will personalize it. So I will sign it. But then also too, like obviously when this guy that just bought the book for me is from Canada. So I'm going to find out exactly from Canada later. But the thing is, like, if he's from Montreal, I'm going to go through, like, my baseball card collection, and I'll throw in, like, an Andre Dawson from, like, the Montreal Expos.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Or, like, a Tim Raines or something like that. Put in something, like, really cool. Sign a bookmark.
So cool.
I have buttons. Mine's Behind the Games buttons. I put stuff in there. So when you order the book through me, you get something much more personal. You know, and then I invite you to the Facebook page. It's like facebook.com/The Minds Behind the Games. And like the cool thing about the Facebook page is like a lot of the video game developers that are featured in the book come on the Facebook page all the time to hang out and talk about video games.
Right.
So like Tony Barnes, who did like Buffy the Vampire Slayer on Xbox.
Wow.
Desert Strike on Sega Genesis. He did a ton of great games. He just bullshits about video games on there. So that's the Facebook page. Also, you guys can't see it, but I'm wearing a Minds Behind the Game shirt. They're really cool. A lot of people have them. They're $15. If you message me on any like social media, you can get one. I'll ship it out to you. The colors for the next book is red. So like the brain is red for the next shirt. So I'm making shirts now. So like every book will have a different color and we'll have different shirts and stuff like
That's
that.
awesome.
So that's really cool. Yeah. So patrickhickeyjr.com. That's where you can order the book. I have a podcast. If you go on Anchor, you could find it. I do all sorts of stupid stuff. Like I do like riff tracks basically on like video game trailers and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. I haven't done one in a while, but
You got a lot going on.
yeah, I'm just trying to do stuff.
Awesome. And it's all real quality stuff. So
Thank you.
get out there, check it out.
I learned a lot as a novice.
Yeah.
This was great. I thought I'd be a little bored, but I wasn't bored at all.
So, Frank, were you bored during the podcast at all?
No, but I'm starting to
No,
melt,
no.
so I better get
God,
inside.
no.
It's me.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Patrick, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank you
coming.
very much.
Tom, now you can applaud.
Let's do it.
Come on, Tom.
You've been listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, a cool side production, hosted by John Panepinto and Frank Caiati, with contributors Matt Hunt, Joe Hagopian, and me, Danielle Rose Fisher, and engineered by Tom Zaccheo. Find us online at nothing-podcast.com. And be sure to rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are distributed.